everybody. Hello. Today we will see how you can run a basic program in Scala. So for that I have opened up my IntelliJ. In that I will create a new project, use Scala as a language and using SVT. SVT is going to be the build tool for our project. We can also use Maven or Gradle. That will also work fine. So we'll click on next. Next we give the name of the project and what is the location. So for that I'm giving my first Scala project. I will take this SVT as the sources, and here you can give the package prefix. For example, I will give com.github.codefest. Click on finish. So it prompts us to say that the directory doesn't exist, and if you want to create, just go ahead and click on the create. Okay, so the basic setup of a Scala project is ready. Before we deep dive into the coding part, let us first understand what are the different directories. So first is this build.svt file. It contains few information about the project, and this file is used by SVT to build the jar and compilations and support dependencies. So here first line shows the name of the project, which is the version, what is the version of the project, then what is the Scala version we are using, then these are the IDE package prefix, which is actually our package prefix name. Next we have this target folder. When we build the jar, it will come inside this target folder. So this is the utility of target folder. Coming next, src folder. So in src folder we have two subdirectories, main and test. In main we have one Scala folder, and in this folder we will just write the code whatever we have to add, and in test directory we can write the test cases for all the code we have written in Scala folder. Next is the project folder. In this, two main important files are build.properties and plugins.svt. So in build.properties we have mentioned the SVT version which we are using. So SVT is the build tool, and the build tool version is 1.8.0. Next is the plugins. Plugins are basically what all functionalities this IDE should support, that all thing come inside the plugins, and there are other parts also, we can discuss that later. Idea project is basically created by IntelliJ, and that PSP is, these are not SVT JSON, basically have all the project details in JSON, nothing else. So these two folders are not the part of the actual Scala project, but these the remaining part are. So first we will see how we can run our first program. So we will right click on Scala folder, go to new, select Scala classes, right click on it, then you can just type ahead. As in Java we create the class, give it some name, same way here we will give the name of the class or the object that we want to create. So let us write it as main. So first we will see how we can run the project using object. So in Scala everything is singleton. Basically Scala enforces us to use singleton pattern. So this object is nothing, basically a object of a class, a singleton object of a class. For example, suppose we have a main class and we create an object of it, and it is singleton object. That means the constructor is private. So the object which was created in the class only, that object we are using. Same way this object signifies that object only. If you don't understand right now, just bear with me, you will understand later. So we will create the object, and like in Java we use public static void main function to start the execution of the code. Here we will write the same thing, but we will just have to define def main, pass the arr as an array of string. So as in Java we also pass the string of array of strings. Here this is the method, this is the way to define the array of strings. first comes the name of the variable, and afterwards comes the what is the type of the variable. So here arr means it is an array of string. If we have to write the same thing in Java, first we define ar maybe string, then square bracket, then we will write array of array the name of the variable, and then we define whatever the length is of the array. So here in Scala we have this method. Okay, so after this we define what is the return type. So the return type could be any type. If you do not want to return anything, like in Java we have void return type, it means it doesn't return anything. In Scala every function have a return type, and if you do not want to return any of the object, you can just use unit for the return type, and then just start whatever the code you want to write. So first let us see how can we write the hello world program. So in order to print anything, we just simply write print or println statement. So the difference is same. If you want to print the next line also after the print statement, you use println statement. If you simply want to print the content of any string or any variation expression, use print function. It will not print the next line, so your cursor will not come to the next line. So let us see how it works. Now we can run this function using this green button. Let's see what is the output. So yeah, you can see hello world. Next we will see how we can define the variable in Scala. So for defining variable we have two ways. We can either use val or you can use var. So in val, if we define anything, let's say I've assigned 9 in I, and if I want to reassign some another value into I, so this will give us compilation error, because we are trying to, I is an immutable object, or we can say immutable variable, which we cannot change the value once we have defined. Next we will see how to use var. If you want to really reassign some values into a variable, you can use var keyword. Okay, now let us see what are expressions in Scala. So if you want to print any evaluation of expressions, 10 into 9 divided by 8 into 7, let us see what this print does. So it prints hello world. Since we have not used println statement, it printed on the same line the evaluation of this expression. So next comes what is the use of blocks of code. So if I write well I block of code, this curly bracket is known as the block of code, and the last line of this block of code would be the return of this block, return value of this block. Suppose I do some write expressions and add something, the return value plus exp. So I am returning a string which have this thing, the return value and the expression, and if I print this block, I will see the return value is 0. So 9 divided by 10 is obviously 0. If we just add some random numbers and divide 10 by 9, this looks fine. Let's just move this. This is not usable. If we run the function, the return value is 1921, which is actually correct. 10 divided by 9 is actually 1, and if you add it to 1 1920, it will give us 1921. So you can see in block the last line is actually the return value of the block. We can do same thing in print statement also. We can just move this block of code inside this println statement also, so it will behave in the same way. See, so this is all for this video. We will cover few more basics in the upcoming part. Thank you.